What up, everyone? This is Mr. Lord, Dark Professor, Dark Joker with this week's video. And this week, I'm going to say what in my opinion, are the top 10 television shows of 2025. I'm going to go over each show, in descending order from 10 to 1, and say why I like them, and, why I think they are the top 10. And, so this could be any show. It could be regardless of country, regardless if it's from the United States, from Japan, Korea, some other country, doesn't matter. If it's a television show and I was able to watch it and they released in 2025, it is eligible. And so basically, this is the top 10 for amongst all those shows. So, with all that being said, on with the video. Number 10, Cobra Kai, Season 6, Part 3. So, yeah, so this was like, the final 5 episodes of Season 6 of Cobra Kai. So, dealt with, the Sekai Tekai, being put back on, all the teams like gathered to do the last few rounds, and basically Johnny Lawrence gives one of his like William Zabka as Johnny Lawrence gives like one of his best performances. Like, in my opinion, he should have been nominated for an Emmy for his performance as Johnny Lawrence. His before like basically this culminates the journeys of Johnny Lawrence, you know basically Danny LaRusso, you know basically Miguel, and like you see Miguel becoming the champion as Cobra, as a Cobra Kai fighter. So Johnny gets back Cobra Kai. You have the redemption of you have the redemption of Kreese, and Silver. Silver ends up dying. Kreese and Silver die in that boat explosion. And basically you had everything going on. A lot of old enemies make peace. And so yeah, this was really good. You have basically Tori and Robbie getting careers in karate, which makes sense for them. Basically stuff like college stuff is not gonna be them. They have to they basically get jobs karate. All the stuff with Sam Miguel. They spend time. They spend time together out of the U.S. Before going to college. And yeah, I thought this was a very good way to end this show. Like, this was something like Netflix ended this show very well. Like, unlike Stranger Things, this was a pretty strong finish by Netflix. Like with this show, like Cobra Kai ended very well. Number 9, Fire Force season 3, you know, part 1. So this was the first 12 episodes of season 3. Part 2 will release later in 2026. So yeah, this is the white clad, taking over the Fire Force, Obi being arrested, Company 8's efforts to rescue them. You see a lot of humor in what's going on, and so you see Shinra and Joker's big fight against Burns, like a very good fight, and Shinra's seen some of the past of the previously existing world, and you have a lot of stuff being set up. Iris gain powers, and you have Shinra's brother, learning more about things. And so yeah, basically this was a lot of setup for the rest of the series. But yeah, I thought this was done very well with like there's the funny like there's a whole day with Arthur getting the aura, searching for quote quote Auricalum, basically the metal for Vulcan to use to make a new sword for for Arthur. And you have the whole that you have like a dragon debut. Like the guy's supposed to be like like a dragon, which there's some reveals about that later in the rest of this season for that are going to be released later. But yeah, I thought this was a very good set of episodes. Hopefully, pacing's not a concern with the rest of the season, like for this year. Like, but like hopefully pacing's not a terrible concern. But Yeah, I thought this was a very good set of episodes. Number 8, Black Butler season 5. So this, adapted the Emerald Witch arc. So you had, stuff where Seal and his Sebastian, their group, go to, Germany to, research, alleged werewolf attacks and and the witch. And basically you have, where basically Seal gets drugged, is affected, like he has trouble remembering like the deal he made with Sebastian, and how he it's revealed that basically the whole witch thing's a cover to make like by the German government to make gas to which it hints at like what's going to eventually be used for the type of chemicals that are used in World War I. Like that's what like it hints at World War I. Like done very well. The all stuff with the witch and her butler. Like very fun. Like a lot of humor there in how like gosh, this is so it's so funny. So you have Siegel and Sullivan, the alleged witch, Wolfram and Butler, the whole deal of Siegel and being into Seal, like that whole humor, like their interactions, and and then when Elizabeth meets Siegeland, like that whole scene is so funny. So yeah, I thought this was a very good season. I hope we get a season 6. Number 7, Shangri-La Frontier episodes, 13 through 25. So this was like, basically part the second core of season 2. Basically you have, the arcs. So you have, where, Sunraku is trying to deal with, Pinarded. Basically he goes with Ray to cross like to this area. They fight, they fight Lycagon, they meet like there's the whole thing where he basically his curse gets upgraded, where and when the Kitsua Kane gets introduced, basically basically she like and basically the she develops a character. You see like or so then you have when Sunraku is asked by Katsu to help out in a gaming competition against like his American rival, like when he and Pencilgun are asked to help out. And so this deals with a lot of the setup for like how the gaming like how that game works, how basically uses the same engine as SLF. And so Sylvia Goldberg's like the really good gamer who Katsu wants to beat. And basically you see and yeah. And yeah, so you have Megami who's like into Katsu, like is like the other teammate. Katsu's clueless. And so you see basically developing the fight, and it ends with Katsu having to do another competition while the rest arrive at the the facility to prepare to fight the competition against Sylvia. And there's a time limit for Sunraku to where he can beat Kanari, which that's what season 3 will cover. And I've read the manga. I can tell you season 3 is gonna be freaking awesome. See, I really like this set of episodes. I'm really looking forward to season 3. Number 6, Doctor Stone, season 4, parts 1 and 2. So this was like, the first 24 episodes of this season. So you had, basically, Senku and his group dealing with Dr. Zena, who was like a mentor for Senku in the old world. and you have them try around. Basically, you have like you know where Senku's group abducts Zeno, then is chased by Zeno's second in command, and then basically when the world gets everyone gets turned back to stone, and Suka like basically basically helps start things out with dealing with the revival fluid, and then basically it's back to square one for everyone. Now, since everyone has a better idea of how things work, they know how like it's not square one is not as difficult as it is. So yeah, this leaves like the rest of it. So it's so like Suka spent a lot of years trying to bring back Senku and all them. And this is like a really good set of episodes, like fantastic. The writing, the music, the animation, all done very well. And like very high stakes. You see like the interaction between Zeno and Senku, how like those are some great interactions. And all the science stuff was great. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to the rest of season 4. Number 5, Gachiakuda season 1. So a show about trash, but it's not trash. So yeah, I read the manga, so I knew large portion was what was going to happen. So I was really looking forward to this show, and it freaking delivered. Bones has had a very good year. Like so, of course, Rudo Sewerbreck, basically is a spherite who gets dropped like basically off of the sphere. He somehow survives, and he joins the cleaners, learns about his giver powers for like his gloves, which are part of the Watchmen series. Which there's some, of course, the finale revealed that his ancestor Canis Cerebrek was the Watchman. Well, was the Undertaker who originally had the Watchmen series. Like all pieces, and so yeah, you have where he beats the other givers, the rest of the cleaners, and deals with the you know like basically you have dealing with the raiders, and dealing with Amo Impul, the Lady of Penta, who at the end of season 1 is still held captive. I'm not gonna spoil who is the one that captured her. Like there's so like like season 2 I think should reveal that, because I've read definitely past to where she does get freed, but like I'm not gonna spoil who's the one that captured her, because dude, season 2 is gonna be freaking peak. But yeah, this was very good. Like one of the best new anime of the year, one of the best new shows period of the year. And yeah, this was like, gosh, this was really good. Like basically it was done very well. Very good debut season. The opening themes and ending themes are awesome. Like especially the first opening theme. First opening theme is a heavy metal banger. So yeah, I thought this was a very good first season. I'm really looking forward to season 2. Number 4, Yaiba Samurai Legend 2025 season 1. So this was a remake of the anime from like the 90s. Adapts an older manga. And yeah, so basically this adaptation was to adapt the entire manga, so it moves the setting to a more current day. And yeah, but it keeps a lot of humor from it. You can tell there's definitely some older style humor in this, like in some of the jokes they do, like, and it's a very like 80s and 90s design, like like showing the design for the characters, like the way like how the spike here, you could tell of you could tell like when this was originally written. and this was great. Like I had never seen the original anime, so I didn't know or read the manga, so I didn't know much of what to expect. Like except basically you have a midget who's like a samurai and looked very funny and really cool. And like, dude, the visuals for the combat are awesome. The orbs were cool, and characters were great. The different demons. Where you have Onimaru, like his Raru with Yaiba is just how it starts is just hilarious. Like their whole fight in the middle of the city, it was just so over the top and hilarious. I was like, what the heck is a kendo fight? And Kaguya is introduced at the end of the first season. Season two has been announced, and I'm really looking forward to that. So yeah, I thought this was a very good like anime season. In my opinion, Yaiba should win best new series at like a lot of the major anime awards. I don't think it will. I think Gachiakuda is going to end up winning the best new show in a lot of them, but and I'll have no complaints about that. But I personally think Yaiba is the one that actually deserves to win best new show. Number three, Landman. So for 2025, Landman, you had the last few episodes of season one, like the last two, episodes 9, 10 of season one, and then you know episodes 1 through 7 of season two. So but Landman is just been on fire. Like it's amongst the Taylor Sheridan shows I've seen, it's definitely the best one. I've seen Mayor Kingstown, Tulsa King. I have not seen Yellowstone or any of its spin-offs. But yeah, I thought Landman, dude, it's just been Billy Bob Thornton, John Hamm, Demi Moore, all the other actors. Like, dude, they just do a freaking great job. Sam Elliott comes in season two, he's really good. And Kayla Wallace is Rebecca Falcone. You have Jacob Laughlin as Cooper. He does really good as Cooper. Like basically the actors like do really good. You see like how the oil like obviously they embellish a lot of things, with the oil industry, but like it's still very well done. Like a great like a like it is a great great drama series. Like how the characters develop, like basically how Tommy Norris deals with all the BS, like all the bull crap from other people. Like you have the cartels getting in. Obviously things are picking up this season, and especially between him and Cammy being at each other's throats, or more so Cammy being at his throat. And you have Galino, the cartel head. Basically he's an interesting character. Like what are exactly his motives, his moral, like obviously has some moral issues, but how he and Tommy are going to interact later, I'm looking forward to that. So yeah, I thought this was a very Landman has been a very good show this year. Number two, My Hero Academia season 8. So this was the final season of My Hero Academia. Like basically that show is done. There is an OVA coming out in 2026. But yeah, basically this finishes off the final war arc and deals with the epilogue arc. And you have the end starts the end of the fight between All Might and All for One. Then Bakugo defeating All for One. Then you have Deku's fight against Shigaraki. And you see all the visuals, the different flashbacks, like basically Deku gains sight of Shigaraki's mind with the vestiges, him losing All for One, giving up his quirk, like giving up like his power to like help defeat Shigaraki's basically like repentance, and he like somewhat repentance, and then all the fallout with with Dobby, Spinner. Basically, Spinner writes a book, about Shigaraki. Have and after a flash forward, like when everyone's adults, basically All Might gives Deku an armor made that everyone helped out with to make that allows Deku to get back into being a superhero, as well as being a teacher at UA, which he and Eraserhead are working at. So yeah, Endeavor retires. So you see all stuff like you see like improvements in how the world operates regards to the quirks. Like the music, the animation, the voice acting, like there were a lot of criticisms people had of the epilogue, like in the manga. I mean, I personally enjoyed it. I personally enjoy it. I get why some people had some issues with it, but I personally enjoy it. But I think like adding music, voice acting, you know, motion, and color to it, I think all that really helps sell like these plot points. And like, there's a reason like I think like the season was consistently having episodes like basically like ranking like 9 out, basically over 9 out of 10 on like like based like IMDb or whatever, and like it was doing very well. Like I thought this was a really good season, a really good way to end the show. And while I would not pick it for anime of the year, I think it has a really good chance of winning it. One, for it being the final season. Two, due to the reception it have. Now, as far as what will win, it is tough to say because you also have that's going to be very interesting because it's going to be very interesting, the anime awards. Like it will be a very competitive year, I think, in the anime awards. So yeah, I thought this was a very good final season. Number one, One Piece. So episodes of this year were like the second half of the Fishman Island remake episodes, and then the rest of season 21. So you have basically the rest, the fight, against you had the five elders fight. You had the Bartholomew Kuma flashback. That was a in the anime so far. What's been adapted from the manga, the Bartholomew Kuma flashback is the best flashback in the anime. Now the manga, the Harald flashback, of course, has surpassed it, but the anime won't get into that until uh you know until later in 2026. I'm really looking forward to them adapting Elbaf because I think they will definitely at least get to like the Herald stuff. Anyway, but yeah, dude, One Piece. But dude, the five elders, dude, those fights were awesome. And Gear 5, Bonnie having her like pseudo Nika form, like the distorted future thing. You have all stuff with Bartholomew Kuma, like, and you have everyone's reacting to Garp disappearing into Kizaru and Sakazuki's conversation after the whole battle, like dude, the whole bit, and Saturn's death, like that was the visuals for that were done very well, like how like Emu just sucks the life out of him. Then when Garling just walks in with the other four elders, like basically to like like saying yeah he's one of the new elders. All the other four like wait what? So like obviously like setting up the rest of like of the anime, like because like Garling, he's the head of the God Knights. We know he's likely like we know he's very powerful. Now, how powerful he is compared to like the Straw Hats, that's yet to be seen. But yeah, dude, these episodes like it was just done very well. The new openings were good, and and yeah, I thought like One Piece, like obviously starting with Elbaf, they're not going to do the whole basically no breaks thing or little to no breaks. There's going to be a hiatus until like April 2026 where LBAF is going to start. Season 22. I'm really looking forward to that. Now, some people have called it season 2. It is not season 2. It is season 22. Just like with Black Clover coming later this year. It is Black Clover season 5, not Black Clover season 2. So for One Piece is LBAF is One Piece season 22. This is what just finished was season 21. And yeah, I thought One Piece is just it has been one of the best shows over the past like if you look at all the shows that have aired probably since let's say Ed and Eddie ended, One Piece has consistently arguably been the best show of that time like of all that time, at least in most of those years. Like One Piece has just been it has been on top. There's a reason it's the highest selling manga of all time. There's a reason like basically it consistently like does very well. Like it is a very good anime. And like yeah, the 3 months of it not airing, it's definitely gonna feel weird, but yeah, some of the pacing stuff will be fixed. Even though I would say pacing hasn't been as big of a problem with this. They've been able to do well with that. Like that not being as big of a problem. But yeah, I thought these were very good episodes. I'm really looking forward to season 22. And that's it. Did you all like this video? Did you dislike this video? Do you agree with my rankings? Do you have your own top 10? You can put all that in the comments, But yeah, it has been mostly anime for these top 10 shows. I mean, which means Hollywood needs to step up. There were only two shows that were from Hollywood, Cobra Kai and Landman. Everything else was anime, and that is on Hollywood. Like Hollywood needs to do better. And, the anime was still kicking it, dude. With all the shows coming out this year, like also we still have some episodes left of Landman. We have a bunch of anime coming out this year. Like holy crap! Like biggest year of entertainment. Like 2026 is the biggest year of entertainment since 2019. That's what I think. With everything that's coming out, it is going to be insane. With television, holy crap. Like, I mean, winter 2026 is going to be insane with all the shows coming out. I mean, April, One Piece comes back. That is going to be highly anticipated. Hopefully, that gives it a better chance to win Anime of the Year, which it should win for this year's awards. Like for the shows for like the awards for 2025 anime, One Piece should win that in my opinion. But Anime of the Year, in my opinion, I don't necessarily think it will. I think I personally, my predictions here are going to be either Doctor Stone, My Hero Academia, or Gachi Okuda, or Solo Leveling, or Dawn to Dawn. One of those shows, but I do think One Piece should win. As far as I think My Hero might end up being the winner due to it being the final season. Anyway, but yeah, I thought these were all these shows in my top 10. I thought they were very good shows. Like looking forward to see like the ones that obviously Cobra Kai it ended on a high note. The rest of these shows, a lot of them they're Black Butler I hope gets another season, and obviously Shangri-La Frontier, One Piece, you know, they're getting future seasons. Yaiba is, Gachakuda is, Doctor Stone still a few more episodes left. Fire Force still is finish out this season. So yeah, there's still some stuff upcoming. We still have Black Clover this year. Bleach Thousand Blood War season 4 is this year, and we got a lot of shows coming out this year. Jujutsu Kaisen season 3, Hell's Paradise season 2. So yeah, dude, there's gonna be a lot of stuff. So I'm really looking forward to the all the shows we have coming up this year. So yeah, like, share, subscribe, all that stuff. Look forward to the next video.